take L's, used to ride the train. Blue line, red line, green line. Now I fly the plane, who line? Said I'm lying, he ain't lying. I don't care who you round. Listen how fool you sound.
What's good, everybody? I am continuing this video from the last video I uploaded on YouTube, and it was about reprogramming, breaking the program. And this video that I'm doing today relates directly to that, which is ultimately about the death of Mac Miller. May his soul fly, you know. But you know, we're going to get into this and pretty much create a stream of consciousness where it flows from the last video I posted on my channel to, you know, now. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna wrap this around as to why this correlates with that and his death ultimately. So Mac Miller, let's get into this. Got my notes. I do want to let you know that this context is going to be a little bit more complex for the average mind, and I quote something that I feel the need to say throughout this video is everybody want to be spiritual until it's time to be spiritual. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit complex for the for the regular mind. And you people think you spiritual until niggas really come out with the information. And so that's why I say everybody want to be spiritual until it's time to be spiritual. You actually scared of what people going to think of you, you know, if you actually, you know, be yourself. And that's what that means. So Mac Miller, you know, R.I.P. May his body rest in peace. May his soul live forever. He passed September 7th. He was found in his home, dead by Karen Civil. Found that he was pretty much had an overdose, man. He had an overdose, and you know, it was shocking to everybody. It almost felt unreal. It almost felt like it was crazy. You know, we all liked his album Swimming. I definitely liked it. Me and Jess were actually listening to it like the whole time we were in Atlanta. But yeah, so it was shocking. And his death is something we all focused on because obviously if you follow hip hop like I do, you know, you got your eyes on everything, and you know, it created a lot of emotion. It was very emotional, and like, you know, we all know by now that emotion is energy. We're energetic beings. If you don't know that, you need to go back to 3rd grade and do science over the energy. So we're all energy, and a lot of emotion was built up in that period and pretty much kind of washed over everybody like a storm or ocean, you know. And so that night I went on my Instagram and I, you know, did a spiritual bath and was like, you know, just showing it to everybody and telling them, you know, this is something y'all can do when a lot of emotions are coming your way. You know, you can cleanse your energy. You know, you can cleanse your energy from influence, you know, and because it was a lot of influence, you know, if you people were sad, people were missing you, and I mean, people was missing Mac, and you know, it was something to grieve over, but it was also something to celebrate. So you got to kind of find that balance, and I didn't want pretty much people affecting my energy. So yeah, I put the spiritual bath on there, and made a post about him, which is kind of one of my highest liked, if not the highest liked post. I put on Instagram is a picture of me and him at this party back in 2012 at the Ilmore, and that's where we met. You know, that's where me and Mac Miller met. So, you know, I put that up, and you know, I told people like, you know, do this. You know, it's a celebration. It's a celebration. Watch your energy. You know, yeah. Okay. So that night I went to sleep, and when I went to sleep, I had a dream, and in the dream, my grandma had bought me a Mac, which my current Mac is kind of fucked up right now because it has like, what's wrong with the screen or some shit? The screen is like messed up and whatever, but my grandma had bought me a new Mac, and it had a virus on it, and you know, I was kind of diagnosing it by myself, and I was like, okay, I understand how, you know, these things get viruses. Boom. Then I woke up, didn't think nothing about it, kind of was trying to dive into it, kind of, you know, decode the symbolism a little bit. And, you know, that day I was like, okay, this is, you know, something that hit me personally about, because computers represent the mind, you know, it's a reflection of our mind. Like, a computer is based off your physical mind. You know, that's how they was able to make this thing. So I took that as, okay, if my computer had a virus, that means my mind could possibly have the virus. And I did, and it's certain parts I don't want to tell y'all, certain parts I do want to tell y'all, but I found out, you know, through that experience, I was able to pull down and crystallize a ritual. And a ritual is for, you know, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you need to progress, but you can't because it's like this one thing or this thing in your way, this thing that's in your way. It's like when you get on the computer and you open the tabs, or you open a tab, or you open a window, and like you can't focus because all these fucking windows are popping up and shit, and it's like, stop it. That's, you know, you can't get to your destination. So that's what this ritual was given to me for, you know, and I feel like it was Mac coming through because Mac wanted to communicate with me, and that's why it came in the form as a Mac. I believe his death was a portal, and something that I was able to grasp. Let's see what I have in my notes. Okay. So yeah, I get this MacBook in this dream, and I tell everybody, yo, I extend the ritual, and I say, hey, everybody, you know, I got this ritual during the new moon, and the new moon is related to like cleaning yourself and starting over and starting fresh, you know. So I got this ritual during the new moon, so it was just all tying together and whatnot. And so I extended this to everyone, and you know, it's most powerful between now and September 14th, but you can still do it after. But I'm just telling you, if you get it right now, then you know, it'll be highly beneficial for you to do. So time goes on, and you know, I do the ritual. Well, I start preparing the ritual for myself, and I wake up this morning. Well, I did the ritual actually last night, but I wake up this morning and I realized that he had a video for self-care, which I didn't know. It came out a month ago. I think July 12th was today. And in the video is a ritual. It's a ritual. It is. In the video, he's actually dying. He actually has his final death, pretty much. So it starts off where he's in this casket, It's just kind of like Beatrice Kiddo in Kill Bill 2. He's in this casket and he's, you know, he wakes up and he realizes it. Or I'm not sure, but yeah, he realizes he's in the casket. He takes his shoes off or whatnot. Then he lights this torch, which is the cigarette. The cigarette is symbolic of the torch, and the torch is the spiritual flame. Then he draws on the casket Memento Mori. And Memento Mori is a Latin Christian theory to practice mortality, especially as means of considering the vanity of life. So he wanted to give us that message, you know, he wanted to give us that message for all of us to remember that we're human, but we ultimately make it out of this and we ascend. So he draws that on there, draws a circle, busts through the circle, and makes it out. And then he's, you can see he's dirty, and the dirt is just representative of like human thought, like dirty shit, like, you know, you gotta, you know, this is a different level of thought, but it is, he's representing, the dirt on him represents human thought. But then something happens where he blows up and his fire kind of purifies his soul. And the definition in his book, the Illustration and Encyclopedia of Traditional Symbols by J.C. Cooper, smoke is a combination of fire and air, signifying the soul ascending, purified by fire. In Christianity, smoke is taken as suggesting the shortness of life and the vanity of fame, anger, wrath. See, you know, this is all a ritual of him purifying himself from what he was going through on earth, you know, and that what was afflicting him on earth, the virus that was afflicting him on earth that he had pretty much no control over. If you hear, you know, stories from like Ariana Grande, you know, and himself actually, you know, it was something that was afflicting him. So this video was that. Now, do we know if this was consciously done? I'm not sure. We're not sure, you know, but we know it was, he didn't direct it, someone else directed it. But we know it was something inside of him that was giving us a message before his death. And ultimately, this is him freeing his mind from the artificial construct. Like I said earlier, the Mac, this thing right here, this computer thing, it represents the mind. This is a false artificial mind. That's what this computer is. It's a false artificial makeup of your own mind, pretty much. His name is Mac. He came to me in a dream as a Mac, and he gave me the fucking ritual. So put two and two together, use your own mind. I'm not saying that this is the right way, but this is my interpretation, my mind. I'm using my mind. Yeah, so he was breaking from the artificial, his name is Mac, so that means he's a representation of the artificial mind, which is your laptop. And also, ultimately, we live in an artificial reality. There's books on this being an illusion, this being some type of, you know, game or simulation. There's tons of information you can Google, you know, and search and grasp, you know, yourself and get your own understanding. You know, but that's my interpretation. So yeah, he was freeing he was freeing himself from the artificial mind. And ultimately, when someone does, you know, when the spirit moves like that, it affects all of us. The mere fact that I don't even want to do this video. I don't feel like doing this shit. Like, but it's like compelling because I feel it on a soul level. You know, I don't. Why would I want to hop on YouTube and make myself look crazy? No, I'm just playing. But it's all for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? It's all for freeing ourselves from what we call this life. You like to get on Twitter and you like to get on Instagram and you look and you say, oh, this is life. It's not life. It's a program that you've been fed. It's something that you know because of what others are feeding to you. So it's ultimately your drug, and it's ultimately your virus. It's ultimately your mind being infiltrated by the virus, by the artificial mind. Is artificial intelligence already happening, huh? Artificial intelligence been happening. That's what this is. And so that's what Mac was here to do. He was here to come and free us, you know, not even free us, but help in this, help perpetuate this performance of us getting back to our original mind, our original self. Let's go into Persephone. Persephone is a Greek character, a Greek goddess. I want to say, is she a goddess? But she's a character in Greek mythology for sure. Oh yeah, she's the Greek goddess, also known as Kor. She's the goddess of vegetation, especially grain, and the wife of Hades, whom she rules the underworld. So I'm going to tie this together, and you know, you can take what you want to take from it. I looked up Mac, and if you Google what the name Mac means, it means the son of. And Miller means the grinder of grain. Now, Persephone is the daughter of a Greek goddess named Demeter, who is the goddess of grain. So if you can see the similarities on both sides, that's what it means. But it gets more interesting. Let's see her story. Let's see her mythology. Her mythology is, when Persephone saw the beautiful flower, she could not resist its temptation, and eventually she gave into its will. She thought that the flower was harmless and would bring her only peace and happiness. That could be anything from what you think will bring you peace and happiness: money, fame, bitches, whatever you think. You know, that's what the flower symbolizes. She thought that the flower was harmless and would bring her only peace and happiness. Instead, the flower made her the bride of the underworld because it was a deceiving trap. I can relate this to people who do drugs like cocaine. A lot of people that turn to drugs, you know, thinking it's going to give them freedom or some type of, you know, but it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing. Persephone is the daughter of the Greek goddess Demeter, who is the Greek god of grain. And like I said, Mac names means son of grain. So you can see the similarities there when you dive into it. You know, I would encourage everyone to do their own searching and you know, find out what it means to them. Yeah, but Mac came here for a purpose, and he came here to help with this. And my offering, what I can do to help you guys, is give you the ritual that I pretty much channeled, and you know, that I believe that he was communicating with me and he gave me. Everybody want to be spiritual till it's time to be spiritual. So this is not for weak-hearted people. This is for people that really want to better themselves and progress and accelerate their lives in a way that what's a rehab can't do. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole different ball game, you know. So you can contact me through my email below. You can hit me up on Raised Radiance at Instagram, and I'm, you know, and get this ritual and start it, you know, best through the 14th. And I'm not saying that this ritual is going to be the cure to your affliction, but it's damn sure going to help. These rituals are just to get your mind on a certain frequency. That's another thing. If you don't know about vibration, go back to 3rd grade too, high school, whatever you think you learned it in. But this is going to get your mind on a certain frequency so that you can start to so that your spirit can start to work with you on higher planes for the freeing of yourself from this artificial mindset that was placed on us, you know, over time, growing up in this thing we call life, you know, this thing we call Earth. Get at me, you know, if you like this video, show us some love, share it. If you know anybody that would be interested in doing, you know, if you have anybody, a loved one that you would, you know, just hit me up for the ritual. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna charge. I want to charge $10 because I did say $5, but that was like a special price, so it's $10 now. If not, you know, that's cool too, you know, but this is for the people that really want to change themselves. So this is me logging out, and I always appreciate the time and the listening and the love, and also the love and light and power to all of you.